Evidence gathered by the Catawba County Sheriff's Office investigators has exonerated 50-year-old Brian Keith Howe of any involvement of the robbery that was reported here on Deal Road behind me in the Oxford community. Howe, initially named as a person of interest, denied committing the robbery in question and also provided information which cast doubt on the accusations made by the Deal Road resident, Melinda Doreen Yoder. Investigators, after gathering additional evidence, determined the robbery did not happen. 49-year-old Melinda Doreen Yoder was charged. Howe, after being named as a person of interest, was located and cooperated with the sheriff's office. No charges were filed immediately, and investigators continued to follow leads and conduct interviews. Yoder initially called 911 around 8:23 in the morning on Friday to report a robbery. She explained to responding deputies and investigators that she was confronted by an assailant as she approached her mailbox. She also explained that the assailant demanded money before instructing her to re-enter her home. She stated that the assailant followed her inside of her home while continuing to demand money and ultimately left on foot after receiving a small amount of money. She described the robber as an African-American male who was wearing a green hooded sweatshirt. She further describes him as being over 6 feet tall and carrying a duffel-style bag. Later in the afternoon on Friday, sheriff's officers released these photos of the person of interest, Brian Howe. Within the first hour, the investigating deputies were informed that the person matching the description was seen at the Lake Lookout Market on Oxford School Road minutes after the incident on Deal Road. They captured these photos and released them. The person was identified as Brian Keith Howe. According to the news release we received this morning, as I mentioned before, he has now been exonerated, and investigators have determined that none of the information that Yoder originally gave was true. Yoder was charged with felonious obstruction of justice and is being held under a $2,500 unsecured bond. She was scheduled to appear in court today. Reporting on Deal Road in Catawba County, I'm Fentress Fountain, WHKY News.